Hi class, how are you today? Oh, well, I'm happy your problem was solved. The learning target for today is to be able to solve algebraic equations. For the scale, you're a 3 if you can solve algebraic equations. You're a 2 if you can solve algebraic equations if there are no fractions. You're a 1 if you can solve two-step algebraic equations, like 2x plus 5 equals 7, that kind of stuff. And you're a 0 if you cannot solve two-step equations. A lot of this will probably seem like review from Algebra 1 and maybe even earlier than that, but it's definitely the building blocks of algebra, so we definitely need to go over this as much as possible. But this should be a quick video. Let's get started. Alright, we have 3 equations here, and we're going to solve for x. So this first one on the left here, 2x minus 11 equals 9, this is a two-step equation. You always want to undo the addition or subtraction first. You can kind of say that this is opposite order of operations. You start by getting rid of the addition and subtraction first. So we're going to add 11 to both sides, because it was minus 11, so we do the opposite and add 11. So that will give us 2x equals 20. And now 2 times x, so we do the opposite. X is being multiplied by 2, so we divide both sides by 2. And that'll give us x equals 20 divided by 2 is 10. Alright, now this one is 5/3 x minus 1 equals x plus 7. So a couple things here. 1, we have a fraction, and 2, we have x on both sides of the equation. So first, let's get rid of the fraction. Whenever you see a fraction, you always want to multiply everything in the equation by the denominator of the fraction. So let's multiply everything by 3. Now, when we multiply a fraction by a whole number, you're just multiplying the tops. However, when you're multiplying a fraction by its denominator, both numbers disappear, they cancel out, and you're left with just the numerator, 5x. 3 times 5/3 x is just 5x. The numerator and the number you're multiplying by cancel because they're the same. That'll always happen. Then we have, and if it helps, drawing the distributing lines just like the distributive property. Now we have 3 times negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 7 is 21. And now we have x on both sides of the equation, so whenever that happens, you always want to move the x's together first. So 5x over here, 3x over here, we take the smaller one, and we subtract it from both sides. So 5x minus 3x equals 2x. We still have the minus 3 equals, this is now 0 because it cancels, and then we're left with just 21. Now it's a two-step equation, minus 3, so we add 3 to both sides. 2x equals 24. Divide both sides by 2. And we get x equals 12. Alright, then this last equation over here, we've got parentheses, so that means we're going to be using the distributive property. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 5. Negative 3 times 2x, that's going to be a negative 6x. And negative 3 times 1 is going to be a minus 3. Now, we can combine this. We've got a 5 here and a 3 here. Those can combine, but the 6x can't combine with those because these don't have an x. You have to combine like terms. So you can combine the 5 and the minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So we can rewrite this whole thing. 3x plus 3 equals negative 6x, and then plus 5 minus 3 is 2. Then, we want to get the x's together again. So, negative 6 is the smallest because it's negative. So, add 6x to both sides. That way we're going to end up with a positive x, so that's a good thing. That'll give us 9x equals, these cancel to leave just 2. Now it's a two-step equation again. Minus 3, minus 3. 9x equals negative 1. And then we divide both sides by 9. And we get x equals negative 1 divided by 9. Many people would say negative 9 here. Remember, if a smaller number is on top, then it does not turn into a whole number. We're doing negative 1 over 9. We can't reduce this at all. There's nothing we can do to it. The answer is negative 1/9, or negative 1 over 9. You just leave it as a fraction. And that's our answer. Alright, now time for the sponge activity. So, 3 equations, very similar to the ones we just did, and I want you to solve for x. So, solve for x on each of these. And just like usual, I want answers for all 3 of them. Then make sure you took notes on the entire lesson. Take notes on everything. Take pictures of it all. Post it all to Doodle Classroom, including the sponge activity, but also the notes. Submit it all to Doodle Classroom. And have a good night.